Oh, hello. I didn't see you there. Here I am, just sewing away in the sewing cave, as per usual. But since you've come to join me on this fine day, I wasn't expecting company, by the way. You should really knock. I will put aside my sewing for the time being. And maybe it's time for another edition of Cool Books That I Own. So this is very interesting. I got this book as a gift. I don't know if you can see it here, but it is called Cooking with a Serial Killer. Recipes from Dorothea Puente. Forgive me if I'm pronouncing that wrong. I'm sorry. Anyway, I had no idea. I have listened to documentaries before on this woman because I do listen to a lot of true crime documentaries, true crime podcasts lately since we're actually in the cave because both Mary and Jessica are also big true crime fans. So, murder and sewing. It's a thing. It's a real thing. So this is cool. So 2 of my hobbies are murder, sewing, cooking. That's 3 hobbies. Murder, sewing, and cooking. And, usually we don't get to combine them. But in this case, we do. So this is actually really interesting. I thought it was going to be a joke when I got it. I was like, oh, ha, 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 whatever. Like, I thought it was going to be recipes, like those horror cookbooks that are like, this is a brain cake or hot dog fingers for the kids or whatever. But this is a legit cookbook. So these are recipes written by this woman. Most of them are her own, like, my famous corn loaf, all these things. So you too can make recipes that Miss Dorothea Puente made. She apparently released this cookbook while she was in prison. I didn't know that. I thought maybe like someone just took her recipes and made this after the fact, but she did apparently release this herself. And there is an interview in the back where she talks about her crimes and everything. So it's kind of a double duty book. It's really interesting. So if you don't know anything about this woman, go listen to a documentary. This is not my job to educate you. But basically, she was like an old lady around 60-ish. They're calling her an old lady in the documentary. 60 is not like particularly old in my opinion. It's not like she was 100. But anyway, she ran like a boarding house and she stole people's social security checks and then killed them. So she didn't have to deal with them and then pretended like they were still alive so she could take the money. And they ended up digging up her yard and finding like 7 or 8 bodies, I think. It's really interesting. It happened in the 80s. So yeah, this is interesting. This is really interesting. And I have read through this, and believe it or not, there are a bunch of recipes in here that I would like to try. So, oh no, work.
One phone call later.
Okay, back to the book. As I said, you really should have told me you were coming. I would have not scheduled any phone calls, but when you show up unannounced, you get what you get. So, back to the book. This is like I said, there's a lot of really interesting recipes in here. I would actually very much like to have a like serial killer dinner party where I make a bunch of these and people eat them. And if people trust me to make these and not to poison them, then that's on them. Would you attend my serial killer dinner party? I want to know, internet. Ignore that poison part and tell me, your real answer. All right, let me show you a close-up of this book. Hang on. Da-da-da! Here it is, up close and personal. I'm sorry about the glare, but, work lighting. So, there you go. evilnow.com, apparently. So, this is from her. She wrote a thing about it. Table of contents. So, you can see here, side dishes, main dishes, desserts, blah, blah, blah. And then, yeah. I don't care about that. I don't really care that much about it. I was more into it for the recipes, I'm not going to lie. But, like, look at how nicely these are written out. So, a lot of these are her own recipes. I don't know if, like, some of these other ones maybe she got from somewhere. Also, Americans, do you spell ketchup this way all the time? And are catsup and ketchup different things? A Canadian wants to know. I need to know these things. So, I'm not going to show you the whole thing. You're not getting all these recipes for free. Actually, you can. I don't care. But it's really interesting. I'm really excited about this. I'm going to make so much stuff out of here. Also, I make a ton of soup in my crock pot. So, like, this is not that. Not chicken, gizzard, and liver soup. I'm not ever making that. No thanks. But there are some really good ones in here. All right. That's all you get. And then back here, see, there's thoughts from her, pictures of her, newspaper clippings, some of her artwork, blah, blah, blah. And then there's, like, interviews. So here's a transcribed interview. It's a neat book. This is definitely $10 worth of awesome in my opinion. And there you have it. close-up of this. It literally has a price of $9.99 on the back. So if you want to go buy this, I'm pretty sure it's still in print. It's like 10 bucks. You can own this. I think this is 10 bucks worth of fun and food myself. If you have this book or if you've seen this book, let me know which recipes you'd like to try out of it. There's definitely a fruit salad recipe in here, which is very different from the way that I make fruit salad, that I would like to try, and some other like macaroni salad. There was some fried zucchini. Like, actually, a lot of this stuff looks really good, and I really enjoy cooking, so I am going to try these recipes. Anyway, that's it. Let me know if you have any other great recipe books that you recommend to me, because as I said, I am a big cooking fan. I would really like to. I only have, I have regular recipe books, but then I have my Vincent Price cookbook, and I have this one, are probably my only two, like, celebrity. It's not a celebrity, but you know what I mean. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please give it a thumbs up. If you want to follow me on any of the social medias, I have them all. We're going to put them in the description below. If you want to buy me a Ko-fi, you can. It's ko-fi.com/MadamAbsinthe. I also have a throne, so if you want to buy me a little present, you can. Just look up Madam Absinthe on Throne, and I think that's it. I hope you like it, and I will see you guys all around for the next edition of Cool Books That I Own. Not even featuring me this time. You're welcome.